Chloe posted a social media update with photos and text, thanking my boss for celebrating my birthday. Chloe is my husband's assistant, and the photo showed her with my husband. Today was Chloe's birthday, and it was my birthday too. I had arranged with my husband in advance for him to put his work aside and celebrate my birthday with me. He said he was busy. Seeing this social media post from a minute ago, I called my husband. "Where are you?" My tone was sharp. Still mad, my husband's voice came through the phone. "Is it really such a big deal over just one birthday? You know the company is expanding. I'm already in Seaside City meeting with Mr. David, I can't make it back." "Fine, then you be busy." I hung up the phone, zoomed in on the photo Chloe posted, and recognized the restaurant. I decided to go there. I wanted to see how Marcus, chairman, would explain himself in this major showdown. In City, there was a secluded alley, and nestled within it was a small restaurant. This place wasn't open to the public, it was a culinary sanctuary belonging exclusively to Marcus and me. When we were in good spirits, Marcus and I would come here to eat. When we were feeling down, we'd also come here to relieve stress. Uncle specialized in medicinal cuisine, and his dishes always suited Marcus's and my tastes. Eating Henry's cooking here was a way for Marcus and me to draw a line between ourselves and the outside world. This was our sanctuary. I never brought friends here to eat, nor did Marcus. It was our unspoken understanding. But today, he had broken that understanding. The photo Chloe posted on her social media showed this very place, and Chloe was sitting in the spot I used to occupy when I came to eat. I drove to the entrance of the secluded alley and saw Marcus's car. So this was his being busy. I remained in the car for a long time, my heart aching with both pain and anger. It seemed that with the powerful rise of the Sue family over the years, Marcus had increasingly ceased to regard me. Well, I'd show him whether the woman he once relied on was truly useless now. I got out of the car and stepped into the secluded alley. "This is delicious, and this one's good too." Chloe commented on the dishes on the dining table. She pointed to Uncle, who was standing nearby. "Uncle, please make another portion of what I just mentioned and pack it for takeaway." Uncle looked displeased. Even I would respectfully address Uncle when I came here, and I would never ask him to cook extra dishes. In Henry's words, cooking was an art. What to cook and how to cook it depended entirely on his mood. He always managed to surprise me whenever I visited. However, Uncle never made the exact same dish twice. Even something as simple as spicy and sour shredded potatoes would be prepared differently if made again, incorporating variations during the cooking process. Uncle looked at Marcus. He wasn't angry, merely giving Marcus face. "Chloe likes it, go make it quickly," Marcus said indifferently. "Make what?" I walked in from the doorway. Marcus's expression clearly became uncomfortable when he saw me enter. "Miss Victoria," Chloe quickly stood up when she saw me. "I was hoping Uncle could make some more dishes for me to take home for my mom to try." "And who is your mother to deserve tasting Uncle's cooking?" Chloe clearly hadn't expected me to be so disrespectful. She looked at Marcus awkwardly, hoping he would help her. Marcus had never seen me like this either. He paused for a moment, then glanced at Chloe. "You, step outside for a bit." Chloe mumbled an assent, then looked at me. "Miss Victoria, I'll be going now." I ignored her. Chloe scurried away. Uncle looked at me. "I've learned a new way to make special birthday meal, I'll go prepare it now." I looked at Uncle. "I'll eat in your room later." Uncle nodded and said nothing more. He closed the door behind him as he left. Only then did Marcus speak. "Don't you think what you just said was too much?" I sat down, staring at him. "Too much? Lying about going to a business meeting to celebrate Chloe's birthday, is that your understanding of too much? Or do you think, given my capabilities and methods, simply calling that Lou woman a few names is too much? Or perhaps I should show you what too much really looks like?" "Don't be ridiculous, there's nothing going on between us," Marcus quickly interjected. He continued, "Chloe grew up without a father, she's from a single-parent family. Because of that lack of a father figure, she deeply craves male attention. She said I remind her of her father and that she never had her father by her side for her birthdays growing up. As her boss, I thought it was perfectly acceptable to celebrate her birthday with her." My face was cold. "Will she call you daddy when you two fool around?" "Victoria, don't you think that's too offensive?" "Your actions are offensive, do you expect me to speak nicely?" I knew my emotions were somewhat out of control, but I tried my best to suppress them. "Forget it, let's not talk about this anymore. If you're looking for thrills, then let's get a divorce." Perhaps the word divorce stung Marcus, as his eyes flashed with anger. "I just celebrated her birthday with her. There's no need to blow things out of proportion, is there? Today is my birthday too." You made your choice, didn't you? Marcus lowered his head. I'm sorry, it won't happen again. Fire her. Chloe has always been very diligent and hardworking. You always say we should give new employees a chance. It's unfair to fire her just because I had one meal with her. I promise I won't interact with her privately again, only for work-related matters. Chloe? You're quite affectionate. Does she call you Chin Chin too? I stood up, glancing at Marcus. Tomorrow morning at 9, City Hall. In my heart, I knew that Marcus's choice to have dinner with Chloe today was just that, a choice. He chose Chloe over me, and now he was still defending her. There was no need for this marriage to continue. I just wanted to give a new employee a chance, Marcus said, standing up to block me. I'll transfer her to a branch office. She shouldn't have to bear the consequences alone just because I had dinner with her. If I actually fired her, what would people outside think? Wouldn't that just confirm that there's something shady going on between us? He grabbed my hand. You're just overthinking. I truly felt sorry for her. We don't have a baby yet, and my paternal instincts are overflowing. How about we try for a baby tonight? I'm not in the mood. What exactly do you want from me? Are you really going to divorce me just because I had one meal with Chloe? Don't you trust me at all? What is this place? My voice grew colder. No third person has ever been here. This is our private world. It's our sanctuary, a place where no outsider is allowed. Yet you brought Chloe here to eat. You crossed a line. I'm sorry, I didn't think it through. Please don't be angry, okay? Uncle said he's making you a new special birthday meal. Let's go try it. I promise I'll never bring anyone else here again. I promise. Uncle's special birthday meal was superb, but it couldn't soothe the anger in my heart. I was still angry, like an intruder had trespassed on my territory, leaving me agitated and restless. I didn't want Marcus to accompany me. Seeing him now made me sick to my stomach. Uncle stayed by my side and had 2 drinks with me. Uncle looked at me. Don't mind me for speaking out of turn, but the recent news outside isn't favorable for your G family. I suggest you maintain a good relationship with Chairman. If your G family truly runs into trouble, the Sue family could still lend a hand. I drank half a glass of wine. Uncle, why do you think Marcus dares to act like this? Uncle fell silent. He understood that Marcus's current behavior was entirely due to the news circulating outside. The G family was on the verge of collapse, and he was beginning to show his true colors. I reiterated, once the news is confirmed, Marcus wouldn't even apologize today, and the divorce wouldn't be initiated by me. Uncle remained silent. He knew I was right. He silently drank a large glass. People's hearts have changed for the worse. If it weren't for your family lending the Sue family a hand, the Sue family would have been history long ago. I smiled. If I can raise the Sue family up, I can also crush them. Uncle just gave me a look. He knew this was nothing but my fantasy. All the news outside now indicated that the G family was about to become a thing of the past, and many people were just waiting to see their downfall. I didn't offer much explanation on this point. A decision was slowly forming in my mind. I would use this incident with Marcus to show everyone whether the G family would truly fall. Back home, Marcus was uncharacteristically proactive. He was wearing a pair of pajamas I had picked out for him. I had always wanted him to wear them, but he used to say it was undignified for a man. Today he had deliberately put them on, yet I felt no interest. During the first year or 2 of our marriage, he tried every trick in the book to please me, because back then his family needed my help and the support of the conglomerate behind me. But in the past 2 years, the Sue family had pulled itself out of the mire and was rising steadily. He was no longer proactive, always claiming to be busy or tired. I often put myself out there only to be met with indifference, and his occasional agreement felt lifeless. Sometimes, I even hated myself for it. As a woman, I felt like a failure. But it's easy for people to forgive themselves, and hard to forgive others. I had long held a grudge about this relationship, and today was no different. Faced with his sudden initiative, I chose to refuse. I went upstairs to the bedroom and locked the door. Lying in bed, I realized Marcus and I had started sleeping in separate rooms 2 years ago, and my last memory of intimacy was half a year ago. Before, he was the one who locked the door. Today, it was me. In the morning, he uncharacteristically prepared breakfast and was already sitting at the dining table, waiting for me. I silently ate a few bites, seeing that he wanted to find an opportunity to talk, but seeing my silence, he ultimately said nothing. Around noon, I received a phone call from his mother, saying that we hadn't visited her in a long time and inviting us for dinner that evening. Eleanor gave me a reason I couldn't refuse. My parents would also be there. I knew Marcus must have called her, trying to use this to mend our relationship. The ice had not formed in a single day. His dinner with Chloe yesterday was merely the fuse that completely ignited me. But last night, I thought it over. Divorcing him just because he had dinner with Chloe seemed a bit childish. I decided to see how he behaved next. That evening at dinner, Marcus handed a proposal to my father. "Dad, take a look at this proposal for the riverside." My father took the proposal and examined it carefully. "Good, very insightful. If we follow this proposal for the riverside, profitability can be maximized. This proposal I'll take with me today and review it more closely." Marcus smiled and said, "Dad, it can't just be a look. This project won't proceed smoothly without your support." I understood then. My family still had some final utility, crucial for the riverside. This was why he didn't dare completely sever ties with me. At the dining table, I didn't say much, nor did I reveal the conflict between Marcus and me. The dinner was lively, and the atmosphere quite pleasant, but only Marcus and I knew that we were together in appearance only, estranged in spirit. I had a bit to drink, and he drove us back. "That proposal was done by Chloe. Your father even approved it. Her work abilities are indeed outstanding, s. He's truly talented. I invited her to dinner simply because I wanted to retain this talent, nothing more. I thought this dinner was to smooth things over between us. It seems I was mistaken. You don't want to fire her, do you? Victoria, you're splitting hairs. I just want to keep a truly talented person for the company. Don't let her being a recent graduate fool you. Many companies are scrambling to hire her. Such talent always requires special treatment to retain. So, if she said I had to give you to her to stay at the company, would I have to give in then too? You're unreasonable." Marcus's face grew cold. "If she's fired, this proposal can't be used. I don't know how to tell your father." "You go tell him." "Huh." I sneered inwardly. So this was his game. Talent? What a joke. Talented graduates are pouring out of universities in droves. When has society ever truly lacked talent? What's lacking is opportunity. Since wanted to play games with me, it was time to let him understand exactly who Victoria was and show him whether I still held any power against the increasingly strong Sue family. The next morning, I went to the company. He didn't have the heart to fire Chloe, so I would. At 9:30 a.m., I was in my office, sipping tea and enjoying the city view, when the door was roughly pushed open. Marcus angrily slammed a contract onto my desk. "Victoria, what's the meaning of this? I told you Chloe is talented, and I already showed her proposal to your father. Why would you still fire her?" "Marcus, do you really think I don't see through your little schemes? Why didn't you mention it was Chloe's proposal when you showed it to my father yesterday? Even if you just scribbled nonsense on that proposal, my father would praise it because you're the G family's son-in-law. Do you really believe her proposal is that good?" I threw a document in front of him. "Take a good look at this." Marcus picked up the proposal I had thrown, the very one he had shown my father yesterday. It was almost completely covered in red pen marks. The parts underlined in red need revision. As for the sections circled, they're utter nonsense and directly contradict the riverside. How dare you show this to my father? All those proposals you used to show my father, they came back to you after I revised them, didn't they? Those were all my revisions. This time, my father also asked me to help you revise it. Whether is truly talented is debatable, but whether you, as chairman, have any competence is certainly questionable. Marcus didn't back down. Even if Chloe's proposal isn't perfect, it has its merits. She has novel ideas, and the company needs such talent. Victoria, I hope you'll bring Chloe back. Don't forget, you're the vice of the Sue conglomerate, but I'm the chairman. As president, you don't have the authority to directly fire my assistant. What if I don't bring her back? My voice was cold, and my gaze met Marcus's eyes directly. The family's influence was growing, and it seemed Marcus had realized quite a few things over the past 2 days. Now it was just a matter of whether he would bring up divorce. Marcus didn't. He just turned and left in anger. Just as I expected, my family still had leverage, and he couldn't bear to give up that benefit. But clearly, he didn't intend to let me have an easy time. He used even more outrageous methods, provoking me increasingly and challenging my limits again. Chloe posted on social media again. "Approved by my boss, I'm now a full-time employee." Chloe had previously only been an intern at the Sue conglomerate. She took a picture of a signed full-time contract, and the location was Uncle's small restaurant. Clearly, Marcus knew how to sting me. He had taken Chloe there once again. This time, I didn't call. Some things only needed to be done once. The first time I called Marcus, there was still a shred of hope in my heart. Not this time. I didn't call, but Uncle's phone call came through. Xiaoxue, I wasn't going to make this call, but after thinking about it, I still need to tell you, I'm leaving. Leaving? Uncle, what do you mean by leaving? I'm a bit tired, and I want to see the world. That small restaurant will be taken over by someone else. Uncle, I understand. I'll get you justice for the grievances you've suffered. Xiaoxue, it's not what you think. I really am tired. Don't let this affect your relationship with Chairman because of me. After ending the call, I headed straight for the small restaurant. Inside the restaurant, I only saw Chloe. When she saw me enter, she quickly stood up. Miss Victoria, Chairman said my proposal was good and wanted me to become a full-time employee of the conglomerate. I really didn't do this intentionally, and there's nothing going on between Chairman and me. I couldn't be bothered with her. Where's Marcus? Uncle wasn't happy with me and said he didn't want to cook for me, so he left. Chairman said he wanted to cook himself, and I couldn't stop him. She adopted a very humble posture, but her tone carried an undeniable hint of provocation. Marcus cooking for Chloe, ha. They weren't even pretending anymore. Just as I was about to look for Marcus, the sound of shoes on the floor grew closer. Miss Victoria, I'm sorry, I know I was wrong, please don't hit me. Chloe suddenly gasped, then picked up a bottle and smashed it against her own head. It bled. How ruthless. Victoria, that's enough. Marcus, who was carrying dishes, roared at me. Now, apologize to Chloe immediately. Chloe? How affectionate. He knew I detested him calling Chloe that, yet he still did it. Did he really think I was so easy to bully? I walked over and picked up the bottle that had fallen on the floor. It wasn't broken yet. Smack. I brutally slammed it against Chloe's head. Now you can scream. Victoria, don't you think this is too overbearing? Marcus glared at me. Miss Victoria, I'm truly sorry, I was wrong. Chloe bent at the waist, acting subservient to gain Marcus's sympathy. You didn't do anything wrong. Marcus went to steady the teetering Chloe. I'll take you to the hospital first. Rest assured, this won't be over. Sitting alone in the small restaurant, I dialed my father's number. Mr. William, I feel a bit choked up. My father said nothing, so I continued. Over the past 2 years, as the Sue family's business has grown stronger, the affection between Marcus and me has faded. A couple of days ago, on my birthday, he celebrated with a female subordinate who shares my birthday instead of coming home to me. I caused a scene, and today he personally cooked for that subordinate again. I feel like the Sue family's wings have grown strong. Just tell me what to do, my father said, just 4 words. I felt much better. Break the Sue family's wings and make them fall. Shortly after ending the call with my father, Marcus called, asking me to go to City Hall. Half an hour later, we met at the entrance of City Hall. Marcus had changed into a sharp suit. Despite my disdain for him, I had to objectively admit he looked quite dashing and refined. Chloe was also there, a bandage wrapped around her head, but her gaze at me was full of defiance. In this emotional struggle, Chloe believed she had won. But would someone like Marcus truly be swayed by emotions? Marcus looked at me with a condescending attitude. Victoria, I don't think you understand the situation. The family is about to collapse. I'm giving you one chance, kneel down and apologize to Chloe now, and we can avoid this divorce. This time, Chloe stopped acting subservient. She stood tall and proud like a white swan. Victoria, Marcus, and I just got the news, the G family is finished. Kneeling down and apologizing to me now is your only way out. You can still be a Sue family daughter-in-law, but you can't stop Marcus and me from being together. I said nothing and walked straight into City Hall. Marcus froze. He hadn't expected my attitude to be so resolute. From the news he'd received, the G family truly was on the verge of collapse. Now, he should have been my last resort. As long as I begged him, he could leverage the situation, maximize my family's value, and the Sue family would use it to reach new heights. My determination was beyond Marcus's expectation. Chloe looked at him. Victoria is faking it. If you go in now, she definitely won't dare to divorce. Marcus could only go along for now. If I realized he wasn't planning on divorcing temporarily, it would be even more trouble. However, Marcus never saw my attitude change from beginning to end. Things moved quickly. 10 minutes later, we emerged from City Hall, each holding a divorce papers. Chloe quickly stepped forward. Chairman, congratulations on your freedom. Marcus reached out and stroked Chloe's face. Does it still hurt? Chloe's voice trembled with excitement. No, it doesn't hurt at all. She kept staring at me as she said this, her eyes brimming with undisguised defiance and triumph. Come on, let's find somewhere to celebrate, Marcus said, taking Chloe's hand and walking towards the car. I also turned away, two people who had once shared a bed now walking in opposite directions. Marcus was still waiting for me to beg him, counting silently in his mind, but I never spoke. Just as I was about to open the car door, Marcus turned and looked at me. Victoria, you'll definitely come back begging me. I glanced at the time and smiled. Your phone should be ringing any second now. He froze. His phone really did ring at that very moment. Son, the news of the G family's collapse is fake. His father's first sentence made him freeze in place. How could the news of the G family's collapse be fake? He had confirmed it repeatedly. Marcus's father's voice continued on the phone. It was news intentionally released by the G family to address internal issues within the conglomerate. Quickly distance yourself from Chloe. Don't let Victoria find out what's going on. Marcus, having hung up, glared at me. Victoria, even at a time like this, you won't back down? How long has it been since we had a proper conversation? We've been sleeping in separate rooms for nearly 2 years. Didn't you notice a problem? Even when I deliberately tried to provoke you with Chloe, you'd rather divorce than humble yourself? Tears streamed down Marcus's face. You're too overbearing. I just wanted you to humble yourself once. For so many years, I'd been the one to back down, but a person's patience has its limits. You should at least let me breathe. Can't you just humble yourself once for this family? I just looked at him, my gaze flat, almost cold. Forbearance? He had crossed the line more than once over the years. I was the one who had truly been forbearing. I was a wealthy heiress, but I didn't have that spoiled rich girl temper. Marcus quickly walked towards me. If you won't back down, I will, okay? I just wanted to provoke you with Chloe. Who knew you'd actually come to City Hall? Chloe, come over here quickly and explain to Ms. Victoria. I just wanted to use you to provoke her. There's nothing going on between us. Chloe hadn't heard the full details of the phone call, but she had already realized there was a problem based on Marcus's reaction. Chloe quickly walked over. Ms. Victoria, it's true. A while ago, Chairman approached me and asked for my help. I only agreed to assist when I heard there were issues in your relationship. If you don't believe me, there are audio and video recordings of this. Marcus eagerly added, yes, exactly. Just in case you misunderstood and it became hard to explain later, I recorded and videotaped the entire time I was with Chloe. My expression remained normal, but I sneered inwardly. My family intentionally released the news of our downfall not to reorganize the conglomerate internally, but precisely for the sake of my marriage. In this world, there are a couple that stands together through thick and thin, and there are also a fair-weather couple. As the only child set to take over the G family business, the choice of a spouse was paramount. Seeing my silence, Marcus pulled my hand pitifully. You don't believe me? I pulled my hand away, took out my phone, and opened a video. Why don't you watch this first? Marcus took my phone and watched the video content, his face gradually turning pale. His office was on the top floor of the corporate building, a private space where no one was allowed without permission. It was absolutely private, no one would know what happened there. The video showed him and Chloe being intimate. You put on a show in front of me, but behind my back, you made your fake act real? My voice was laced with sarcasm. This man in front of me disgusted me. Victoria, you're despicable. How could you put surveillance cameras in my office? What right do you, a man who is unfaithful in relationships and betrays his marriage, have to accuse me? I took back my phone and turned to leave. As I was about to get into my car, Marcus spoke coldly. Victoria, don't think the Sue family can't survive without the G family. The reason I gave you a chance and let you maintain this marriage was because of the Riverside. But if we divorce, the Sue family can just abandon the project, and your G family won't be able to secure it on your own. Then let's wait and see. With that, I got into the car, but I wasn't in a hurry to leave. There was still a good show to come. Marcus's phone indeed rang again. He answered the call, and his face gradually turned grim. Not only had something gone wrong with the Riverside, but many of the Sue family's business partners had already proposed terminating their contracts. The bank also called. Not only had several batches of funds the Sue family applied for not been approved, but now several banks were demanding the Sue family repay their loans as quickly as possible. What panicked Marcus the most was that the Audi team had entered the Sue conglomerate and frozen its assets. This foreboding sign of a coming storm made Marcus's heart pound. Are you saying the Fong family is also getting involved? Marcus asked, his face grim. Yes, the eldest young master of the Fong family has personally stepped in, saying he wants to help Victoria vent her anger. Of the 4 prominent families of Grandview City, the G family and the Feng family accounted for 2. A while ago, there was news that the Feng family intended to swallow the G family, and that the G family was being gradually taken over by the Feng family. Only now did Marcus realize that the Feng family had cooperated with the G family to stage a play. The family couldn't handle even one of them, and with the Feng family added, Marcus felt like his world was crumbling. Marcus put away his phone and quickly walked towards me. I stomped on the gas pedal, and the car shot forward. The car window was down, and I turned my head to look at Marcus. Marcus stared at me, shouting, "Victoria, let me explain." I didn't listen to his excuses and drove away. "Marcus," Chloe quickly stepped forward. "You still have me." Slap. Marcus slapped Chloe across the face. "You're nothing. Anyone could be by my side. I just needed someone to provoke Victoria. Did you really think you were that important?" Marcus couldn't truly like Chloe. He might fool around with her, but his real intention was indeed to provoke me. With my family supposedly on the verge of collapse, he deliberately found someone to make me humble myself and beg him. He also wanted me to make more concessions and transfer the G family's assets to the Su family. He wanted to gain more benefits by my humbling myself. Unfortunately, Marcus's calculations had failed. In just a few hours, the Su family's market value had evaporated by tens of billions, and this was only the beginning. Marcus could feel capital operating behind the scenes, and he knew this capital belonged to the G family and the Feng family. But facing the sheer size of these two families, he was helpless. At that moment, he finally realized how terrifying the G family's power truly was. At that moment, he also realized his own foolishness. That evening, Marcus and his parents came to my house. Seeing the guests at my house, all 3 of them looked a bit uncomfortable. Ethan was there. He was the eldest young master of the Feng family, 7 years younger than me, and had just graduated from college this year. He was decisive and efficient, already making a name for himself in the business world. When he was little, I had saved his life. Back then, the little kid clamored to repay me by pledging himself to me. He was young then, and I just dismissed it as a joke. I never imagined that the first thing he'd do after graduating college was come to my house and imperiously demand that I get a divorce. I hadn't installed surveillance cameras in Marcus's office, Ethan had done it. The reason he wanted me to divorce was because he had seen Marcus and Chloe having an affair outside. That's why he spent a large sum to install surveillance cameras in Marcus's office. After getting first-hand evidence, he then approached me and urged me to divorce. After entered, he glanced at Ethan before staring at me. "Victoria, I heard you're pregnant. You're going to be a mom, and I'm going to be a dad. Our family is going to be more complete." This was like a bombshell, instantly changing the atmosphere in the room. In the years Marcus and I had been married, my parents had long been hoping to have grandchildren. In the first 2 years, Marcus said he was busy with his career and couldn't spare time for a child, also fearing that pregnancy would affect my ability to help him, so he never considered it. Later, as the Su family's development gained momentum and my family showed signs of decline, having a child became even less of a consideration. In response to Marcus's statement, Ethan spoke up, "How many months along?" Marcus's face showed a hint of pride. "Almost 2 months. They say things are best achieved in secret, which is why I hadn't told anyone. I originally planned it as a surprise for everyone, but it seems it's not too late now." "Oh." Ethan stared at Marcus. "Are you sure it's your child? What did you say?" Marcus fumed. He looked at me. "Victoria, are you telling me you cheated on me?" I remained silent, and Ethan continued, "The last time you touched Victoria was half a year ago, right? Use your brain and tell me if a 2-month pregnancy could be yours?" Marcus's face grew even uglier. He glared at me. "Victoria, you cheated? Fine, it seems our assets will need to be reevaluated." No one expected Ethan's next move. He suddenly stood up and kicked Marcus, knocking him down. When was in junior high, he was small and skinny and had been kidnapped. I was the one who rescued him. Since then, Ethan had diligently trained in martial arts. That kick of his was so powerful that Marcus was sent flying into the wall behind him before stopping. "Look at this." Ethan threw a document onto Marcus's face. "These are pregnancy test results, a report Victoria deliberately left at home to try and keep you. Victoria's pregnancy is fake, but your heartlessness is real." Ethan spoke coldly while picking up a golf club. As parents stood stunned, he stepped forward and swung it towards Marcus's legs. "Dare to harm Victoria, and today I'll cripple you." "Enough!" Marcus's father quickly shouted. He wanted to step forward and intervene but dared not, remembering Ethan's identity. Ethan threw the golf club down and sneered, "I thought chairman was a man, but he just wet himself. What a disgrace. Marcus's face turned pale. Ethan's golf club hadn't even landed on him, yet he had already wet his pants out of fear. Mr. William, Marcus is your son-in-law after all. Are you just going to stand there and watch him be bullied? Faced with Marcus's father's question. My mother spoke. In ancient times, a scumbag like him would be publicly disgraced. He should be grateful he lives in modern times. My mother's voice was very cold. The moment she found out Marcus had cheated, if I hadn't stopped her, my mother likely would have used some extreme measures to deal with him. Humph. Marcus's father scoffed coldly. Your family is a powerful family with vast resources. This is just a trumped-up charge, isn't it? I see you've long wanted to ally with the Fong family through marriage. His voice grew colder. Mr. William, we were an old friend from the service, and you're playing these games with me? Isn't that disgusting? Shameless. My mother stood up and slapped a document onto Marcus's father's face. See for yourself. The family had been at a dead end back then. If my family hadn't provided financial and practical support, the Su family would have been history long ago. Over the years, the Su family relied on my family's connections, and they weren't clean in their business dealings. Their business partners were full of complaints. We were the ones secretly cleaning up their messes, compensating those partners, which was why they agreed to continue collaborating with the Su family. During this period, the Su family tried more than once to poach our important business partners, but their reputation was poor, so our partners consistently reported these attempts to my family. My parents chose to turn a blind eye due to my relationship with Marcus. Once father saw the document, he could no longer twist the truth. Arthur's face was still cold. Mr. William, he said, do you think your family is clean? I have some things in my hands. If you don't lead the Su family a way out, then it will be a fight to the death. Now, give me a straight answer. If they remarry, we can pretend nothing happened. Otherwise, let's see what happens. My father looked at him. The things you're talking about, he said, are they recordings and videos you took of my daughter after she had too much to drink? Since the Su conglomerate rose to power, they had been using various tactics, trying to get leverage on my family to control us. Arthur had invited me to their home multiple times and encouraged me to drink. After I had too much to drink, he would subtly probe, and if I was drunk enough, he would ask very inappropriate questions. Arthur's face was cold. A great man isn't bothered by trifles, he said. Since you know, you'd better give me a satisfactory answer today. My father didn't respond. Instead, he stood up and left the room. Soon, he returned with 2 bottles of strong spirits. I also said nothing and simply opened the bottles. I drank both bottles under the watchful eyes of Marcus and his family. Only then did my father speak. Do you think my daughter is drunk? He asked. He continued, at our level, you have to be wary of many things, especially at social gatherings. Even as a girl, Victoria started specialized training at 6. I wouldn't say she could hold her liquor perfectly, but she can easily handle several bottles of strong spirits. My father narrowed his eyes at Arthur. When she drank spirits at your place, how many bottles did she have at most? Was it even 6 pounds worth? Arthur's face was ashen. He knew the evidence he thought he had was something I had deliberately said, likely fabricated. My father continued, today, I'll give you something to use against me. He finished speaking and looked at me. I gestured towards the outside. Chloe was brought in, covered in blood. After being led inside, she knelt before me. Miss Victoria, I know I was wrong, I truly do. Please forgive me. I placed a trash bag over Chloe's head, then picked up the golf club Ethan had thrown. Look carefully, I said. You can take out your phone and record all of this. My voice was icy. I slammed the golf club hard against Chloe's head. I was an only child, and my family raised me like a son. From a young age, I learned not dance, but boxing and kickboxing. Once, twice. Until Chloe stopped pleading. Why did I stop my mother from using those extreme methods? Because some things you have to do yourself. If you don't love someone, you can get a divorce. But betrayal during the marriage is unforgivable. Marcus and his family watched the motionless Chloe and panicked. They tried to leave, but several burly men stood blocking the doorway. Mr. William, what is the meaning of this? Arthur stared at my father, his voice trembling slightly. We are an old friend from the service. Indeed, an old friend from the service. My father's face also grew much colder. Do you remember when I took a bullet for you on the battlefield? But what I didn't expect was that even if I hadn't stepped in front of you, I would have still blocked that bullet for you. A war correspondent captured that moment, you reaching out, trying to pull me in front of you to take the bullet. What a truly good friend from the service you are. And 2 years ago, my wife and I nearly died in a car crash. The investigation later revealed that the car's brakes had been tampered with. If the driver hadn't fought to control the car, if the driver hadn't chosen to crash into the cliffside, I might have died long ago. A head-on collision with that protruding cliffside meant the driver's chances of survival were almost zero. Any normal person driving would have chosen to steer in another direction, allowing the vehicle to plunge into the abyss, just as you wished. You didn't expect that driver to choose death just so I could live. Before he died, he shouted one thing. I haven't lived enough. My father stood up and took the golf club from my hand. These past few days, I finally found the true culprit who tampered with that car, my good friend from the service. Forgive me, Arthur knelt and begged for mercy. Marcus and his mother, Eleanor, finally realized the gravity of the situation. And this conflict was not merely a business struggle. The next day, a news headline dominated the papers. Marcus, head of the soup conglomerate, fearing an audit team, chose to end his own life by jumping from a building. Upon hearing the news, his parents drove to the scene of the incident, speeding, and died in a car crash. The story of the Sue family became history, but my story continued. 6 months later, Ethan and I had our wedding in Grandview City. It was a globally sensational wedding, and I took over the operations of the G family business. The family had faded into the dust of history, while the G and Fong families, embracing the new dawn, pressed on towards new heights.